Hey yo, Strength More back here again. And breathe. Take a second to just breathe. Take a second to just simply breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe deep. Breathe in deep through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. And you're probably wondering, well, Trenton, what is that for? What are you doing? Are you a breathing expert now? No, not at all. But that simple action of breathing can really be very important and very essential. You know, those are the words. Even though they mean the same thing, they both mean the same thing. And what I have to say is that breathing is something that will get you very far through a lot of your stress, through a lot of your just everyday life. I mean, you literally need to breathe in order to survive. And specifically, I am saying this especially to you that are doing online school, you all that are online students, even myself. Take a moment to just breathe. Take a moment to breathe, relax, take a break, do what you need to do to relieve your stress, but most importantly, just breathe. Really, there are ways that we um, can relieve stress in an unhealthy manner, and there are ways that we can relieve stress in a healthy manner. And I encourage you to mostly, and not even necessarily mostly, no, I just encourage you all the way, do those things that are healthy. Don't go to those unhealthy ways to relieve your stress, because ultimately they're just going to put you in a worse condition. And, matter of fact, let me correct myself, a more worse condition. Worser, I don't even know if that's a word. But the thing is that, look, especially if you're an online student, take that time to breathe. You know, I do it all the time. I'll admit it today, pertaining to education, pertaining to schooling and whatnot, and college. I'll admit it, today I didn't receive the best news. Today I did not receive the news that I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted to hear, but, after hearing it, I just took a moment to breathe. I took a moment to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, and just, take a time to understand what was going on, take a time to breathe, and just simply just understand that everything's going to be okay, you know? And, this is not necessarily even for just online students. This is for people in general. If you know that you are having a troubling situation, take that moment to simply breathe and relax. And so for this video, I'm kind of even thinking about it right now as I'm making a video. Should I specifically, say if you're an online student, take this time to breathe, or really if you're just a human being, going through stress, take this time to breathe. But at the same time, why not just do both? Because in reality, breathing is something that relates to both areas, that relates to both situations or both groups or types of people. If you are stressed, whether that's due to online school, you should breathe. You should take a moment to breathe, relax, and take a break. If you're stressed due to maybe some marital issues, if it's due to some emotional issues, relationship issues, friendship issues, whatever it may be, any type of issue that is causing you stress or trouble within your life, physical outcomes that are not the most pleasant things, or not the things that you would like to see, take that moment to breathe. Because truthfully, when you take that moment to breathe, or even just relax, or even just take a break from what's causing those problems, or taking a break from that problem, I promise you, it will feel like some of that load, or if not all of it, has been taken off of your back. We spend all this time in our days and all this time in our lives constantly carrying loads, carrying a load. And eventually, carrying that load is just going to cause more physical problems, whether that may be physical or mental. At the end of the day, the thing about stress, and the thing about even dealing with, just stress in general, it has uh, a mental toll and an emotional toll, a physical toll. It has a toll on literally every single part of you, even spiritually. If you're a spiritual person, you can have a lot of spiritual toil and a lot of spiritual harm just because you're not taking that moment to breathe. You're not taking that moment to breathe, relax, and take a break. And so, as I said, doesn't matter who you are. You're an online student, a person that just simply has some stress in the workplace, a person that's having some stress within a relationship. Doesn't matter who you are. Regardless, even if you aren't having any problems, you should be breathing, taking that time to breathe. Um, I think what's so interesting now, if you relate it to, the current problem in the world, this whole pandemic, we know that, the virus itself, it affects your lungs. And sadly enough, definitely it would, I believe that the virus would affect people who have a lot more damaged lung system or respiratory system. And, I feel like, the most interesting thing is that the thing about the pandemic, the thing about, specifically the virus is that what does it affect? It affects your breathing. And isn't that ironic? Breathing is one of the most essential things, if not the most essential thing, for you to, keep your blood flow, to keep, to really just stay alive in general, and to be honest with you, it's interesting that, this current virus going around, it affects what? The lungs. And, sadly, like I said, very sadly, it affects people's lungs and they can't do what? They can't breathe. They can't breathe the way that they would like to, the way that they need to. And so what I'm telling you is that don't take breathing for granted, because breathing is a lot more than just breathing in, oxygen and letting out carbon dioxide. Breathing is a lot more than just, it's a lot more than that, because breathing is something that truthfully does affect your life, and it truthfully does affect the way that you live. If you've damaged your lungs, what can you do? You can breathe still, but you can't breathe the way that you used to. You can't breathe the way that you probably like to. You can't breathe the best way possible anymore. Think about it, y'all. Breathing, like I said, as much as it is related to stress, as much as it is related to relieving that stress, it's like I said, it's also a very essential thing and very, big key part of our lives, the majority of our lives. So what I am encouraging you all to do is to take that moment in your life, take that time in your life, and take that moment to breathe. Take that moment to sit down, relax, breathe. If you're stressed, if you're an online student, you're having those issues, take a moment and breathe. I kid you not, you will feel much, much better. You'll feel a lot more relieved. And really, just as I said, you'll feel a lot better. So it's Trenton Moore back here again. And just take that moment to breathe. Take that moment to take a break, relax. But most importantly, breathe. I'll see you all later. Peace.